And we are back, folks, for another edition. The last one up here in our roll call of top players, top visitors to Michigan on the last weekend before the dead period here for the recruiting cycle before signing day. Joining us here in studio, the Michigan Recruiting Insider, is CJ Edwards. CJ, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
All right. So you are a young man. I know you were recently at Bergen, but you just made the transfer. And so, first of all, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Yeah, so doing great. And I know this is not your first time at Michigan either, right?
It's not.
We got a lot to unpack. First, we're going to be talking about your game. We're going to be talking about your visit to Michigan. We're going to be talking about your recruitment. But we first want to introduce you to all these recruiting fans who are going to get a heavy dose of who you are as a student athlete. So let's talk about your game and unlock who you are as a player and give them a glimpse of your rise as a prospect. So take us to the beginning and introduce folks to CJ Edwards. Tell us about your game.
All right, so freshman year, coming into Bergen, I played both receiver and edge rusher. Freshman year, I played receiver. I was great at it, top 5 receiver prospect in the state. Didn't have any really attention from colleges. I had a little buzz here and there, but going into sophomore year, decided, defense with championships. So I was like, I'm gonna stay on the defensive side of the ball. That's where I felt the most comfortable at. So went through sophomore season, and around late February, early March period, I got my first offer. It's just taking off since then.
Yeah. So when you said defense wins championships, defense is also a mentality, though.
For sure.
It's not like dudes just say, all right, I want to play defense.
For sure.
Especially, offensive guys, man, you got to want to hit people.
For sure.
So was that always your mentality, though?
I mean, I pride myself on being physical on the field, and I mean, one of the biggest requirements of playing defense is being physical. So I mean, I sort of just in my element, felt natural to me, especially playing, edge rusher against these big guys on the line. It's just, that's my craft. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be anywhere but the trenches. So, yeah, physicality is definitely one of my biggest aspects of my game. So that's why I love defense.
Okay, all right. So, I like to have guys step out of their comfort zone and really talk about their games. And it's not boasting. It's just more just giving an honest scouting report when they watch themselves on the field, or when they hear even coaches talk about who they are. So let's do that with you, CJ. If you're a coach or a scout in the stands and you're watching yourself on the football field, give me that scouting report. Who is CJ Edwards? Is there a player in college or the pros that you get compared to?
I definitely compare myself to, Dylan Stewart, Mykel, that sort of explosive, long, fast, athletic edge rusher that could set the edge as well as rush the passer. Sort of James Pierce Jr. type of guy.
Okay.
From a scouting report, I definitely say high motor, loves to get to the ball, always around the ball. Physical player, loves to hit, loves to be in the mess, loves to be in the action. That's definitely, I say, if I was a scout, that's definitely what I say about myself.
Okay, and so height and weight, what are you up to now?
Right now, I'm measuring around 6'4". I'm around 215 and 217 on the scale, so yeah. So I'm definitely gonna look to get that up this coming off season. But, that'll come with time, so.
Okay, all right. And so, obviously, as far as the recruiting is concerned, that is really, really coming up. When did you feel like schools really started to notice? Because there's a switch, there's a moment where it feels like it starts to click and you feel like it's clear colleges are starting to notice you.
So, the off season after my sophomore season, during spring workouts, a lot of college coaches would come in and watch me work out. And, being new to the recruiting scene, they'll say, who's this kid? So I started getting some buzz here and there. And then, that late February after the dead period, I got my first offer, and then it just took off like that. Everybody's looking at me now. So it's sort of just that switch, after spring workouts after my sophomore season. That's when, my recruiting took off. So, I'm blessed to be here. I know a lot of people wish the position I'm in. So, yeah, it's just been an amazing experience. I'm just trying to take it step by step, and I'm just enjoying the moment.
So now, because I don't want to talk specific schools yet, I want to talk more broadly about recruiting and what you're looking for in a school, the factors that are playing into it. So as you are going to see schools, what are some of the things that you're looking for, and what are going to be the most significant factors in your recruitment as you pick a school?
Definitely the head coach, as well as the coaching staff, my position coach that I'll be in meetings with. A head coach that sort of has the same mentality as me, a desire to win, not just there to play football, not just there, like just to go win a type of championship. Like, I want to compete, I want to go get that ring. That's the ultimate goal in college football. And then secondly, how are they going to develop me not only as a player but as a person? So that ties into academics. Having a great academic university, being able to, go get my education at an amazing university is definitely important to me. So I'd say head coach, position coach as well, and then development, and then the desire to win as a team. Not guys just I'm gonna get my NHL and bounce. I'm gonna get my stuff and then bounce. It's like, all right, we're gonna go compete. So I want to go somewhere where not only can I compete against the best in practice, I'm gonna compete against the best, in games. And I mean, Michigan University, that's definitely somewhere,
So I always wonder, trying to get a feel for that on visits. How easy or how hard is it to do that? Because visits are a snapshot, and you're taking a lot of them, and so is that something that you've been able to feel like you've been able to get a feel for so far with schools on visits?
For the most part, yeah. It's you can kind of see it when it's there. If a school's, sort of just lackadaisical, everybody's just trying to get through it, or if they're really attacking the reps, going out to spring practices, going to games. When I was at Michigan versus Texas, you notice it when it's there. Mm-hmm. So, thankfully I've been able to, sort of discern it, see it when it's there, it kind of appeals to me. So, yeah, definitely.
I got you. Yeah, man, it's something that I was talking to Jordan about, as a matter of fact. Have you been able to have that discernment with schools? Like, how do you have that discernment? How do you separate the real from the fake? Do you have a process for that? Is that something that you have? Do you rely on on your dad, or you rely on Letitia? Like, how do you, as a young man, do that when you're going through all these visits and talking to all these coaches?
I mean, firstly, it's building a relationship with the coach, seeing where I'd fit in their schemes, how they use me, how they utilize a player like myself, and then putting it to the test. Like, when it comes to the film, are they doing the things they say? Does their team do the things they say? Does their defense perform how they say it performs, Sort of just fact checking it off of, their resume, their film, their games. Mm-hmm. That's definitely something, and as well as practice, because when you're on a junior day, you can sort of, hide stuff, whatever you want to hide. But when you're at spring practice, if it gets hot, it gets hot. You can't hide that. So definitely getting out to spring practices is something that, it's definitely a big priority for me. Getting back up to campuses, seeing spring practices, seeing the attitudes of the teams. That's definitely something that's important to me.
Yes, you got to take multiple visits.
Yes,
multiple visits.
For sure.
Yeah. So you've been to Michigan a couple of times now, for instance.
Yes.
Your impressions of Michigan so far have been what?
Good, very good. I mean, Coach Sharon has something special up here. So, I'm definitely interested. It's I know my family loves it up here. My family's out for the Texas versus Michigan game. I know we all loved it. So we're definitely interested in, growing this relationship and furthering this process with Michigan.
What has stood out to you the most?
Definitely Coach Martindale's scheme. They have a lot of simulated pressures, versatile edge guys that, can run the passer but open up their hips and drive back and cover the hook to curl, cover the curl flat, which I see myself definitely, that's, definitely my area. I'd love to, that's where I look to play in college. So their defensive scheme, as well as their attitude towards the game. Coach Moore's attitude, he's a competitor. Coach Espo's a competitor, Coach Martindale's a competitor. And that's, I want to be around like-minded individuals, people who are going there to compete, not just to be, satisfied, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But for sure, that's definitely something that stood out.
Yeah, and then, you get a chance to, it feels like you get a chance to at least see some of the guys.
Most definitely.
Have you been able to talk to any of the guys yet?
I haven't been able to talk to any of the players, unfortunately. You know, that's definitely going to be something I got to do in the future. You know, but talking with some alumni, some of my hosts while I've been up here, I've been former players, so seeing how their experiences were, sort of the ins and outs of what it's been like playing here. That's definitely been a valuable resource. So
I got you. All right. So now, as you move forward in your recruitment, you got some decisions to make about where you're going to go next, what you're going to do in the spring. You have an idea whether you're going to be making it back this way, or do you have any other visits that are on the horizon, for instance?
My schedule is definitely not set. That's something me and my family got to sit down and work out. But I know I definitely want to get back up to Ann Arbor in the spring. That's gonna be a priority for sure, getting back out to Michigan. So
you talk about your family, and that's one of the things that I like to highlight with every young man, because I feel like it's one of those things where your journey is one that you don't take alone. So the way that you've gotten support to be able to get everywhere that you've gotten, and the way that you're going to have support moving forward is unbelievable. And how has it been for you in your journey so far?
It's been an absolute blessing. All the early mornings, late nights that my parents have gone through, road trips all over the country, flights, long drives. But I wouldn't want it any other way. My family's been an amazing resource and an amazing blessing, and I'm glad that they get to experience this with me, because I wouldn't be here without them.
Yeah, man. It's one of those things where when it all goes, everybody is whether it's a bad game or coach finds another guy and he's not talking to you no more. Family is always there.
For sure.
So never highlight that enough. So I always appreciate the opportunity to shout family out. So your process in the end, CJ, how is it going to be for you? Is it going to be a totally collaborative process when it comes time to pick a school where it's just a sort of a roundtable type decision? Or is it going to be one of those deals where you get input from family, and then once you receive their input, you go and make your choice?
It's definitely going to be, I wouldn't say 100% collaborative, but my family's definitely going to play a factor. But at the end of the day, I'm the one that has to go out there and play football. Mm-hmm. So obviously, their input is important. How they feel about the university is important. Their guidance. But at the end of the day, I have to go out there and play football. I have to go out there, pursue my career. So it's going to be based on my decision, but family's definitely going to play a role in that decision.
You think distance from home is going to be a factor for you?
No, I don't think it would be a problem at all. My family, they're big fans, so I'm sure wherever I go, whether it's on the West Coast, East Coast, South, Northwest, wherever, they're definitely going to be out supporting me. So and that's a blessing to be able to say I have such a supportive family at home. But I wouldn't say distance really is a factor. No.
Mm-hmm. Now I know you recently transferred to St. Joe's. Have you had a chance to look at this schedule yet?
I have. I love their schedule. Got some competitive games on there. It's definitely a lot closer to home. So I get to, go at some of the guys that I used to play against in Central Jersey. So it's fun to get at those guys. Going to be fun to compete against them. So
yeah. So I ask that because if we want to get out to see you, what would be maybe a game or two to circle on the schedule?
Phillipsburg High School is definitely going to be a game, and then probably St. Thomas Aquinas or Baskin Ridge. Those three games are those are the big ones. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, CJ, man, appreciate you taking time out of your visit schedule while you're here to spend with us. Good luck this coming season, and again, they can't make a bad choice. Appreciate you stopping by.
For sure. Thank you for having me.
All right, CJ Edwards. And folks, appreciate you taking the time to spend with us. We'll see you next time.
Go Blue.